Hello, I'm meteorologist Cassie Clayman with your Metro News television forecast brought to you by Slango Law. Get results, no excuses. It is going to be sunny today once again, but our temperatures today are going to be warmer. We'll continue to see these dry conditions into Friday, but then some shower chances are introduced to our forecast Friday night into Saturday, and then clearing out again Sunday, where we are going to be feeling the heat. I just want to talk briefly on this rain that we're getting as we head into Friday night and into Saturday. Most of these showers will be staying north, and even with this precipitation, it does look to stay, generally speaking, light. And that's not only the story as we head into the first part of the weekend, but that's actually stays in the story as we head into next week as well. Overall, anticipating just light precipitation across the area. Now here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. The dry conditions, that's not the case for many, especially those across Florida, which will continue to watch for those shower and thunderstorm chances. Still having the potential to be heavy at times as we head into our Thursday and Friday. Some showers also expected across Chicago. But temperatures here, panhandle to panhandle forecast, sunshine. We'll see abundance of that with temperatures warmer. We are up to 74 today in Wellsburg. Otherwise, temperatures in Kingwood at 70 degrees for the day today. An abundance of sunshine across the area. Ripley up to 76 degrees today. Franklin 67, and Huntington hitting 78 degrees on this Thursday. Then as we head into the extended outlook, Friday up to 79 degrees. Those showers on Saturday, and then temperatures jump up into the 80s as we head into the day Sunday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be a trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
Lots to get to this morning. The latest on the fragile ceasefire deal. We'll talk about the foster care bills that were vetoed by Governor Morrissey. And we've got an update and a vaccination case. All that plus Hoppy Kercheval stops by. And what about some relief at the pump? Told you, busy show. Let's get rolling.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded.
We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check satellite uplink. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. Joe Nelson is handling the radio side of things this morning. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state, Jake Link handles the video stream on the MetroNews television app, YouTube, and Facebook Live. You can be part of the show this morning. Give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK-304. Coming up, bottom of the hour, Mary White with the Children's Home Society of West Virginia will join us. We'll talk about the foster care bill Governor Morrissey vetoed. Also, some of the challenges ahead for child welfare here in the state of West Virginia. Also, Brad McElhinny has an update on a vaccination case. Hoppy's commentary a little bit later on, and Monongalia County Delegate Democrat John Williams is going to drop by the studio. Democrats want to get some relief at the pump through the suspension of a gas tax holiday. We'll get into all of that coming up as the show unfolds. Say good morning, TJ Meadows in Charleston. Good morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning, sir. West Texas crude, Dave, back over $100 a barrel. The reporting says on a normal day, about 100 ships, I should say, go through the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, it was around 9 to 10. I wouldn't say that's open again. We'll see what happens today, but I think the markets agree with me based on this oil price.
Yeah, Jonathan Savage going to join us coming up next segment. We'll get the latest on the very fragile ceasefire deal with Iran. Yesterday, we were talking about the Republican primary. Governor Morrissey had weighed in with an endorsement in Senate District, I think, 15 over in the Panhandle. What impact could that have? Well, U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito has weighed in with endorsements in state Senate races. Try to make sense of all this. We bring to the conversation GOP strategist, friend of the show, Greg Thomas. Greg, he joins us from the Charleston studios. Greg, good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How are you?
I am doing well. Does this mean battle lines are now officially drawn here? We've got Shelley Moore Capito making endorsements. We've got the governor endorsing candidates, and they're not endorsing the same candidates, Greg.
You've definitely got two sides here, and two different entirely caliber of people with respect to these different state Senate races, especially, and a handful of the House races as well. Look, you've got sort of the status quo caucus from the state Senate that's, that sort of took over leadership 2 years ago. I've been on y'all's show a lot talking about really how terrible the last two sessions were. I mean, other than the tax cut, the small tax cut we got this past time, the session before was really, really bad. I mean, I think they've just lost focus. They're out there talking about sort of fringe issues that nobody in West Virginia seems to care about. And I think now that we're seeing a lot of this outside spending from national organizations and special interest groups from out of state, you're now seeing why we are talking about these issues that nobody in West Virginia seems to care about. These outstate special interests have already spent $391,822 in some of the state Senate races alone. And that's, the issues those groups care about are the issues we've been talking about in the legislature. And they don't happen to be issues that people in West Virginia much care about. We've done a lot of polling on this stuff. We live here, right? We're from here. We live here. We know that the issues is, we got to improve the economy. We have to create jobs. We've got to improve our roads and infrastructure and schools. We went out and recruited a group of candidates to run against this status quo caucus. And we think our group's doing great. Our group, our folks have raised over $1.3 million. I think we're on track to raise probably 1.5, while the status quo caucus that's in there now is raised around 500,000. They have less than 330,000 cash on hand. So it's essentially a group of people that on their own would have absolutely no chance of beating our candidates, right? They're folks that aren't active in the community, haven't had successful careers, aren't really able to raise much money, don't know a lot of people, have low name ID. And that's the kind of candidates these out-of-state special interest groups like, right? Because they can come in and say, well, look, this person would have no chance of winning if I didn't spend $60,000 to try to elect them. And if I do elect them, they're going to do whatever I want.
Who are these groups? I mean, where's the money coming from?
It just national, right? It's none of these people are from West Virginia. It's all outside interests.
So like this 501c4 thing we talk about a lot, dark money?
Yeah. It's just, groups that, big national groups, and, they've got either a handful of well-heeled donors, or they raise a lot of small dollars all over the country for certain issues. And then they come, and that's the stuff they want to talk about here. I mean, the first time we really saw this in the state legislative races like this was last time, Craig Blair got beat in his Senate race because one of these groups came in the last 3 weeks of the election, spent $400,000. And after it was over, nobody knew who they were. And they went on, some representative of the group went on Fox News and was like, yeah, we're a group funded by pharmaceutical companies, and we're mad over the state Senate passing this issue that had to do with 340B. And we were just trying to make a point because we're trying to pass a different bill at the federal level. So even these, because a lot of people say, like, why are these groups coming into West Virginia? Why do they care about West Virginia? Well, the answer is they don't care about West Virginia, right? They're just trying to leverage issues at the federal level.
And we're a cheaper buy? I mean, we're
That's-
1.7 million people. Has that got something to do with it?
That's 110% what this is about. It's 110%. With that and, you've got a certain percentage of folks in West Virginia that are, susceptible to those kind of, scare tactics and messages. Look at, the 340B is one of them. The other issue, right, was the food dye ban. I mean, that's another one, right? You could probably ask people in West Virginia, what's your top 100 issues? And banning food dyes isn't one of them, right? But that was like the number one issue that they passed in, the legislative session before. But they did that to try to leverage, there were certain lobbyists and certain people that did that to leverage that issue at the federal level. Right. So, I mean, it didn't have anything to do. I mean, what's it going to do in West Virginia? It's going to, reduce the amount of options you have at the grocery store and also increase your grocery bills by 12%, which there's a study out there that says.
So how do you cut through that noise, Greg? Because people have lives. They have things to do. They're not necessarily sitting around studying candidates. How do you cut through that?
Well, the candidates themselves have to run good campaigns, right? I mean, you're getting these. If you're in one of these districts, right, the listeners that are out there that are in these districts, you're getting 2 or 3 mailers a day. You're getting these crazy text messages that says, called somebody. I got one on the way in here called somebody creepy. You know what I mean? Like it's like my 11-year-old son's writing them for him. Except for he's a little bit wittier than they are. The candidates themselves are going to have to go out here and deliver a message. And I think that's what, the good guys, the guys that I'm working with, we've got $1 million cash on hand. They're going to be spending it now as people are paying attention to the election and going out there and delivering a positive message that says, hey, here's the stuff. Here's who I am. And here's going to be my focus when I'm in the state Senate. And I think that's how you get this done.
So here's the question that I think people will raise, because we talk about the PACs and we talk about these ads, and it's always paid for by so-and-so. They pick a name that sounds West Virginian.
Yeah.
I mean, that works for both sides, both factions. How do we tell the good guys from the bad guys, in your opinion? I mean, how do we tell what's true and what's false?
If you get 10 mailers for a candidate that you've never heard of and you've never met and you don't know anybody who knows them, why are you voting for them? Right? Like, don't do that. Right? Like, I just wouldn't do that. I'd be like, hey, do I know this person? Do I know somebody that knows this person? What, I keep getting back to, like, what happened when candidates used to come on a radio show like this and say, well, hey, here's my resume. Here's who I am. Here's what I've done. I've talked about this on y'all's show before. I mean, 1/4 of the state Senate does not have a full-time job, right? Like, why is the person running? Like, if the person is running because they need $23,000 a year in health care benefits and they're getting elected because some national special interest group sent $60,000 worth of mail and silly text out, is that who I want to be my state senator? Are they going to have the same focus that I have? Are they going to have the same priorities that I have? And the answer to that's no. And we know it's no because of the last 2 years. The last 2 years should show you, do you want 2 more years? West Virginia is one of 16 states in the country that's lost jobs over the last 18 months. While these folks have been in charge, we have been losing jobs. We went from having the most conservative state Senate in the nation, grew the economy, controlled spending, had the biggest tax cut in history, and then all of a sudden, the last 18 months, it's like we've gone backwards. And that's what we have to change, right? We have to change that, and you change that by electing people that have created jobs, people that have been involved in big organizations, people that have been involved in the community, and that share the same priorities that we do.
Greg Thomas joining us, GOP strategist. Do these political endorsements impact the races? Do they ring true with the average West Virginian?
I think they do to a degree. I mean, I think I've seen a couple polls out there, that say that if the Governor Morrissey endorsed somebody, 33% of voters are more likely to support the candidate he wants. That's not a coincidence that he also gets 33% in primaries, right? I mean, that's where his base is. Senator Capito has not done this at a huge degree like she's doing this time. Shelley Moore Capito gets 87% in a primary. And so I guess, that's, we'll see how effective that is. 87 is more than 33. But,
last time I checked,
that's, but that's what the elections will be, and not to say that's what this election's going to be about, but I do think the candidates that are getting her endorsement are going to have sort of that seal of approval of like, okay, here's somebody that's from here and is kind of like us, right? And I think that's the way those candidates will use those endorsements.
I want to ask you about the 501c4, the PACs. I mean, look, they're a tool.
Yeah.
Everybody uses them. I get it. I have to be honest. If I give $1 million to one of these 501c4 nonprofits and then they turn that back out to whatever sub PAC, it doesn't necessarily ring of transparency. I mean, should we change that?
Look,
I mean, they can give it. It's the Supreme Court said it's theirs to give.
It's the law. Both sides do it. I've worked on plenty of groups like that. I'm working on groups like that right now. I mean, to me, look, I'm somebody that works in that world, but I've done it over 25 years, right? Like if you're going to do it on 25 years, you can't just put out silly nonsense because then the next time you put it out, somebody's going to go, oh, the last thing you put out was nonsense. It's the fly-by-night groups like that you got to be wary of, right? Because they're coming in, they're from out of state, they're coming in, they're dropping a whole bunch of lies and saying a whole bunch of stuff that isn't true, and then they're gone, right? It doesn't really matter. So, I mean, I think it sort of matters. You know, does that local organization have local ties? Do they have an office? Do they do stuff? Are they here year-round, in and out? Are they coming on your show and talking, right? Do they even have somebody to come on your show and talk, right? The groups that I work with do, right? But that's part of what we do because we look at it and said, hey, I'm not going to do a fly-by-night thing. We're going to exist for the next 10, 20 years. And if you do that, you have to worry about your reputation. You have to worry about your community involvement. You have to worry about the stuff that you're doing. If you're just some group that's been talked into coming here and spending a few $100,000 and you got some 28-year-old kid typing up silly text messages and sending out, you know, scary-looking mail pieces to octogenarians in West Virginia, then, you know, you're probably not worried about that. So I think West Virginians are smarter than what they think they are, right? They're banking on them not, you know, those kind of groups are banking on you being willing to just believe everything you see on the internet, to believe every, you know, silly mail piece you get. You know, is there a percentage of our voters that will do that? Well, absolutely they will. But I think a lot of people, especially with the magnitude of how much of it, I think a lot of people are going to look back and say, oh my gosh, I just don't think that's true, right? I mean, people are seeing the candidates that are getting hit by some of this stuff now, and it's like, that's not true. You know, TJ, you asked me about something that had gone out to a race, and, you know, it accused, well, it didn't accuse, it highlighted that some of the incumbent senators had voted to increase grocery bills and electricity costs, which is absolutely something they did, right? I mean, that's what they did. So, I mean, I think, you know, when you have that stuff and you have the data to back it up, and
so it's not the tool; it's how you use it.
Absolutely, and it's who's it coming from, right? Is this somebody that you know?
Okay.
Does this mailer have a West Virginia address, and is there a person that if I called them they would call me back, or is this something that has some, you know, K Street address and there's no number, there's no anything, there's no website, there's no anything? If that's the case, more than likely they're lying to you. and they think that a third of you will believe it.
Greg Thomas, GOP strategist. Primary election comes up May 12th. Early voting starts April 29th. Greg, always appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate the opportunity, fellas.
Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio, next.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti-everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Kercheval Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Kercheval Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Let's quickly get to Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. Jonathan, there is a fragile ceasefire deal in place, or is there even a ceasefire deal in place with what's going on in Iran right now?
It is holding on. I think if you ask the United States and Israel, they'll say it is holding on. If you ask Iran, they will say that there have been flagrant violations by Israel. And the reason for that dispute is that the two sides have a very different definition of what this ceasefire is. It's all about what's happening in Lebanon. Israel is continuing to strike Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militia group, which is based in Lebanon. Iran's position is that this is part of the ceasefire deal, and Israel should stop. Israel says its war with Hezbollah is not covered by the ceasefire. Just yesterday, Israel conducted fearsome strikes against Lebanon. More than 200 people killed, according to Lebanon's health ministry. And this is something which has become a very controversial issue, not just in the Middle East, but with international reaction as well.
Jonathan, we struggle to understand, is the Strait of Hormuz really open or not?
It really doesn't appear to be open functionally. I've seen that maybe 9 ships have passed through the strait since the ceasefire came into effect. Iran has said that it is controlling access and that passage will only resume if Firstly, it says the U.S. withdraws aggression and if Israel stops its military campaign against Hezbollah. There's about 800 vessels stuck there. Some of them received messages from Iran's Revolutionary Guard saying that any unauthorized movements, those ships could be targeted and destroyed. There's also maps being published by Iranian-linked media outlets there suggesting that the sea has been mined. So there's an awful lot of reasons why ships are not passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and it is still effectively closed.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. What happens next with the peace talks that are scheduled for this weekend?
Yeah, they're meant to take place this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan, and we are anticipating that the U.S. delegation would be led by Vice President J.D. Vance. What Iran is saying just now is that these talks are in jeopardy. President Masoud Pezeshkian says a continuation of Israeli strikes in Lebanon would render negotiations meaningless, and he warns that Iran's hands will remain on the trigger. That having been said, an Iranian delegation is still planning to head to Pakistan this weekend.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage with the latest on the fragile peace deal. Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Mary White. She's CEO with the Children's Home Society for West Virginia, or of West Virginia. Governor Morrissey vetoed 12 bills after the legislative session. One of those dealt with foster care and helping expand the program for kids who age out of the foster care system. We'll talk to her about that. Coming up, Brad McElhinny a little bit later on, an update to a vaccination requirement case. That's straight ahead as Talkline continues on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th annual.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Cassie Clayman with your Metro News television forecast brought to you by Slango Law. Get results, no excuses. It is going to be sunny today once again, but our temperatures today are going to be warmer. We'll continue to see these dry conditions into Friday, but then some shower chances are introduced to our forecast Friday night into Saturday, and then clearing out again Sunday where we are going to be feeling the heat. I just want to talk briefly on this rain that we're getting as we head into Friday night and into Saturday. Most of these showers will be staying north, and even with this precipitation, it does look to stay, generally speaking, light. And that's not only the story as we head into the first part of the weekend, but that's actually stays in the story as we head into next week as well. Overall, anticipating just light precipitation across the area. Now, here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. The dry conditions, that's not the case for many, especially those across Florida, which will continue to watch for those shower and thunderstorm chances. Still having the potential to be heavy at times as we head into our Thursday and Friday. Some showers also expected across Chicago. But temperatures here, panhandle to panhandle forecast, sunshine. We'll see abundance of that with temperatures warmer. We are up to 74 today in Wellsburg. Otherwise, temperatures in Kingwood at 70 degrees for the day today. An abundance of sunshine across the area. Ripley up to 76 degrees today. Franklin 67. And Huntington hitting 78 degrees on this Thursday. Then as we head into the extended outlook, Friday up to 79 degrees. Those showers on Saturday. And then temperatures jump up into the 80s as we head into the day Sunday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law.
And you look at what the
Salango
White
Law
House
is under
has to say
reputation for getting
about this
excellent
strait.
results
Free
for our
passage. I'm paraphrasing,
decades
but
of
that's what was said
experience
from the
handling
podium
thousands of
yesterday. And it was said that that's plain language. It should be understood as such. Iran, on the other hand, you look what they're doing. They're trying to move ships closer to the shore with their Navy and what resources they have left. The reason they're doing that is they want to toll. We hear of this toll in cryptocurrency or Chinese yuan. And so, yeah, it's not open, Dave. I mean, let's just be honest. It's not open.
We'll get to more on that coming up in just a little bit. You can shoot your text to us at 304-TALK-304. Phone number's always open at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. We'll talk to Brad McElhinny about another vaccine case coming up in just a little bit. Later on in the second hour, we'll be talking with Monongalia County Delegate John Williams. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. MetroNews Talkline continues. 800-765-TALK and 800-304-TALK 304. That's the phone number and the text line. Among the dozen bills vetoed by Governor Morrissey was House Bill 4730, which unanimously passed the Senate and sailed through the House 95-1. That bill would have expanded programs to help children who are aging out of the foster care system, including helping with independent living, finding employment, and continued education. Mary White is CEO of Children's Home Society of West Virginia, and she joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Mary, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Well, good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Mary, can you give us an idea of the challenges children who reach 18 and legally become adults and age out of the foster care system, what kind of challenges do they face?
Oh, Dave, there's so many challenges. We have so many children today who age out of foster care at 18 without a life plan. And so many times their options are so limited, and they could end up homeless, exposed to drugs, commit crimes or be incarcerated. There's just so many things that could happen to these youth when they have no place to go and no guidance. The independent living program is designed to help those youth that are aging out, to help them have the social support that they need, a social worker who helps to get them employed or helps them to continue their education and get them on a good plan. They learn life skills. They learn to manage their household. And our goal is to help them be successful adults. And I see the independent living program as a prevention program because we want to prevent incarceration. That would cost the state so much more. We want to prevent homelessness. We don't want to see children on the streets where bad things can happen to them. And, we want to prevent this historical phase that we go through. I've worked with generations of families where grandparents and parents and their children have all had their children removed and are in foster care. But if these young adults can be supported and they have opportunity, our goal is to prevent their children, should they have children someday, from ever coming into foster care. So I believe it is one of the best prevention programs. Children's Home Society has today 54 youth in our independent living programs. We've had such amazing success stories, and sometimes it's a challenge when they first come because they need to learn so many life skills and to be, learn to begin to be independent. But, man, the stories are fantastic. It's just the greatest program.
Morning, Mary. TJ Meadows here. Thank you for joining us. What you have laid out and what you have described seems entirely reasonable to me, as did the bill. I'm curious, have you been able to speak with the governor's office or understand why the governor vetoed the legislation?
No, I have not had the opportunity to speak to the governor. It was supported in both the House and the Senate, 100%. And I'm not certain why it was vetoed. It could be just the need for additional information about the value of the program, or to now have the opportunity, to really think about what can we do here. How can we expand this program so we can have more youth participate and see it as a prevention program? But I've not had that opportunity yet. I would look forward to speaking with him and planning and, seeing if we can make something possible.
Talking to Mary White, CEO of Children's Home Society of West Virginia. Mary, are we taking advantage of all of the federal dollars that are available to West Virginia to support programs like you're talking about?
That's probably a question for the DHHR on, are we utilizing our federal funds to capacity? That I'm not sure about. I do know that the independent living program is, in part federally funded, and West Virginia is one of 26 states that receives that additional foster care fund for independent living. And so I'm not sure if their other funding is maximized. I mean, there's a lot of need in West Virginia, and we surely don't want to lose funding or have funding cut or have to send funding back because we didn't use it. We should be looking every day for ways to utilize what's offered to us or what we can obtain to help West Virginia's children. That's critical.
So practically, with the legislation not passing, that's the reality we live in, unfortunately. What can we do and what should we do to retool how we raise our foster children, I guess for lack of a better word, or orphans? What do we do while we have them before we age out? Do we need to look at it on that side if we can't do anything past 18?
Oh, well, we have children in foster care from infants until age 18. And, we support our foster families so they can support those foster children. We work very, very hard, if we can, to reunify those children with their biological families. That should be our first option if that's possible. If that's not possible, then our next step is permanency for those children, and perhaps adoption. Many times foster families adopt the children that they've been parenting if they can't return home. So I think there's a lot of things we can do there. We want to support our birth families and help them as much as we can. So if it is possible for their children to return, that's what you want. You want to keep families together. Many times that's not an option. So we need to be very planful in having enough foster families, adoptive families, who can provide permanency for these children. I worry sometimes that because we lack foster care capacity in West Virginia, we need more foster homes. We definitely do. Good foster homes, those that have been, well-trained and certified. That can help in that process so kids have a safe place to be until they can be reunified and or adoption. Everything we do at Children's Home Society is about permanency for children. So we should all be working together in our state to make sure that children have a good family, they can grow up, have opportunity, and be successful. There are many, many prevention programs and things that we can use to support families. Our family support centers do so much of that work. So there's lots of things we could do and expand on and plan for. And I think that's when, if we can do things on the front end, then perhaps we won't see these children who cycle through the foster care system for years and years, and they age out, and they do not have a life plan. That's just so very sad. So with prevention, if we could stop a lot of that on the front end, so they're not aging out without stability in a family, well, that would be ideal. But this is a critical program, independent living is, and until we can make the system of care better for children in West Virginia, we need this program because kids are going to continue to age out of the system with no support, and we know bad things happen when that happens.
Mary White, CEO of the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. Mary, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Coming up, Brad McElhinny, an update on a federal case involving, you guessed it, vaccine requirements. We'll do that next.
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All the sports West Virginia is talking about.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, coach of the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team.
I think they're just having a very good understanding of each other.
Join Kyle Wiggs, Brett Howe, and Coach Hunter weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Virginia. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
At WVU Medicine, our board-certified general surgeons perform more than 2,500 procedures a year. They use advanced, minimally invasive techniques and robotic-assisted technology to reduce recovery time and improve outcomes. From complex procedures to routine care, we're leading the way with precision and expertise right here in West Virginia. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit WVUmedicine.org. A panel on the Federal Appeals Court that covers West Virginia held that the state's mandatory school vaccinations law is, quote, a legitimate exercise of the state's power to protect the health and well-being of school children. That was the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals determining the state's interest preventing disease outweighs individuals' religious objections in the context of public education. What's that all about? Let's bring Brad McElhinny into the conversation to explain. He's our Metro News statewide correspondent. Good morning, Brad.
Oh, hi. Good morning. I think the first thing to explain to Toby and Edith and Mama and everybody else out there is that you've heard a lot over the last year about circuit court cases in West Virginia, particularly Judge Frobel's courtroom in Raleigh County, dealing with West Virginia's school vaccination law and how it intersects with West Virginia's religious freedom law. Governor Morrissey and his policies were at the center of that. It's all going to the state Supreme Court. This is related. There's some overlap. If you did a Venn diagram, one would kind of slosh into the other. But this was a federal case. It was a case brought by parents in Upshur County whose daughter was in a virtual charter school there. And it was Upshur County Virtual School. Might not have been charter. Forgive me there. The girl was removed from daily classes because her parents could not demonstrate that she'd been fully vaccinated. They sued on First Amendment grounds, citing their freedom of religion. First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which is why this case, rather than the other, was federal. In the Northern District of West Virginia, Judge Tom Klee issued a preliminary injunction and concluded early on in the case that the parents were likely to succeed on the merits. It was then appealed to the Fourth Circuit, which is the appeals court that includes several mid-Atlantic states, including West Virginia, went to a 3-judge panel. And because this is the way we talk these days, I'll just tell you, the ruling was written by J. Harvey Wilkinson, who was a Reagan appointee. He was joined by Stephen Agee, who was a George W. Bush appointee, and then the third judge on the panel, Paul Niemeyer, who was a George H.W. Bush appointee. Niemeyer dissented. So this all came out yesterday, and 2 of the 3 judges ruled that West Virginia's mandatory school vaccination law is intended to be for the public good, to prevent the spread of disease, and that West Virginia is within its rights, it's constitutional for West Virginia to have this law. So that's one battleground on this entire issue, but it's not exactly the same as the other battleground.
Well explained. When I peruse social media, I see the social media lawyers who never went to law school, by the way, and not that I did. But how does what the Fourth Circuit did, how, if at all, Brad, and it's early, how, if at all, will that influence what the Supreme Court may do, in that a very high understanding and layman perspective would say that the Constitution of the United States cannot be trumped by West Virginia state law, et cetera, et cetera? How are we thinking about that? How should we think about that?
Yeah, I think you're going to hear about it. We're still in the phase of that case. No oral argument date has been set for the state Supreme Court, so the various entities are filing their written statements of where they stand. And I think there's a great chance that this Fourth Circuit ruling and the language that is contained within it is going to be cited in some of those written filings. I also think there's a great chance, you only get so much time in front of the Supreme Court. You get a few minutes and you got to quickly make your case, and the justices will get you off track. You'll begin with what you intend to say, and then they will begin to ask their questions. So when that happens, I think there's another great chance that somebody, probably on this side, the lawyers defending West Virginia's mandatory school vaccination law, great chance that they're going to make reference to what the Fourth Circuit has done here. So again, one doesn't control the other, but I think these things are going to kind of slosh together, both in the public arguments that we discuss, and it's on social media, that kind of thing, but even more officially, the arguments that go before the state Supreme Court. I think you're going to see these references.
Read Brad's story over at the website, wvmetronews.com this morning. Brad, always appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks.
Back to wrap up hour number one in just a moment. Cruise into spring with the West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win $4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online and enter for your chance to win cash or a cruise. Details at wvlottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
MetroNews Hotline with Dave Weekly.
All right, Kathy Mattea joins me now.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
.304 Talk 304. That is the text line. 800-765-TALK. The phone number. Texter says Dave is such a homer. He probably thought the Taliban would lose in Afghanistan. He likely believes U.S. won Vietnam. If the Islamic Republic survives, they win. Just like in Afghanistan, the U.S. will get tired and leave eventually. You got me. You got me. I'm a U.S. homer.
Better than a carpetbagger.
Why am I rooting for the United? Why would I ever root for the United States? You caught me. Yes, I wear red, white, and blue on the 4th of July. Actually, I wear it a lot because I cover Morgantown High, and their colors are red, white, and blue. But nonetheless. All right, second hour, Thursdays with Hoppy. Your assignment in the next 6 minutes. Go read his commentary. We'll talk about it. Later on, gas tax relief? Question mark? Coming up, second hour, it's MetroNews Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Cassie Clayman with your Metro News television forecast brought to you by Slango Law. Get results, no excuses. It is going to be sunny today once again, but our temperatures today are going to be warmer. We'll continue to see these dry conditions into Friday, but then some shower chances are introduced to our forecast Friday night into Saturday, and then clearing out again Sunday, where we are going to be feeling the heat. I just want to talk briefly on this rain that we're getting as we head into Friday night and into Saturday. Most of these showers will be staying north, and even with this precipitation, it does look to stay, generally speaking, light. And that's not only the story as we head into the first part of the weekend, but that's actually stays in the story as we head into next week as well. Overall, anticipating just light precipitation across the area. Now here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. The dry conditions, that's not the case for many, especially those across Florida, which will continue to watch for those shower and thunderstorm chances, still having the potential to be heavy at times as we head into our Thursday and Friday. Some showers also expected across Chicago. But temperatures here, panhandle to panhandle forecast, sunshine. We'll see abundance of that with temperatures warmer. We are up to 74 today in Wellsburg. Otherwise, temperatures in Kingwood at 70 degrees for the day today. An abundance of sunshine across the area. Ripley up to 76 degrees today. Franklin 67, and Huntington hitting 78 degrees on this Thursday. Then as we head into the extended outlook, Friday up to 79 degrees. Those showers on Saturday, and then temperatures jump up into the 80s as we head into the day Sunday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline. We're in the Encova Insurance Studios. I'm in Morgantown. Dave Wilson. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. Joe Nelson is handling the phones and the audio side of things this morning. He's helping out, keeping you connected on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Jake Link handles the video stream if you're watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, or YouTube. You can be part of the program this morning, like every morning, at 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. You can give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. House Democrats held a news conference yesterday asking the governor to hold a special session so they could temporarily suspend the gas tax. We'll talk about that plan. John Williams, Monongalia County delegate, and one of the few Democrats in the House, will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Say good morning once again, TJ Meadows on Virginia Street in Charleston. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. The really important news of the day, the update from the Masters. Patrick Reed and Tommy Fleetwood tied at 3 under par through 4, David.
Through 4. Well, I think I've told you this story before. Friend of mine, long story, friend of mine knew a guy that rented his house out in Augusta during Masters Week.
Nice.
I believe it was Tom Kite had rented the house. And when his friend got back, there was baby food in the pantry. They didn't have kids, and he calls Tom and said, I didn't realize you had children that young. And Tom Kite said, that was for me. He would be so anxious going into the Masters. The only thing he could keep down that his stomach could handle was baby food.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, the pressure is enormous. People like these guys aren't real athletes. Number one, oh, yes, they are. Number two, the pressure is enormous, especially in arguably the one that matters the most, the quest for that green jacket. So, yeah, I'm tuned in. I'm watching DeChambeau right now. I'm a DeChambeau fan. I like him. I like Scotty would be another one I'd be cool with. I'm not the biggest Rory fan in the world, but okay, whatever.
Look out for Xander Schauffele this week. That's my pick.
Well, he's up there. Yeah, he's up there.
All right, there's your 5 good minutes of golf, or at least 3 good minutes of golf for your day.
It means so much to me, as you know.
Over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, Hoppy Kercheval has his commentary. He examines the dichotomy of a couple of Easter messages. He joins us on the program, as he does most Thursdays. Hop, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
So you looked at a couple of Easter messages, one from the moon, one from the White House. What were your thoughts, Hop?
Well, I'm always looking for, I follow the news very closely, and a lot of the news is dispiriting because a lot of the news is bad. That's the nature of news many times. And so I'm always looking for inspiration. And I think the Artemis II mission has been very inspiring, from the moments of the liftoff to what they have done and accomplished to hopefully a safe return tomorrow. But also, what stood out to me too was the pilot's message, Victor Glover, and he was just sort of ad-libbing from space in a message to Earth around Easter time, and he said, "You're speaking to us, Earthlings." He said, "You're on a spaceship called Earth that was created to give us a place to live in the universe, in the cosmos. You are special in all this emptiness. This is a whole bunch of nothing talking about space, this thing we call the universe. But you have this oasis, this beautiful place that we can get to exist together." I thought that was really a wonderful message. I'm not one to slap the coexist bumper sticker on my car, but I do think it was a powerful message from space about this, about humanity and existing together. And then about the same time, you have President Trump, and granted he's a war president, so he's got to have a hard edge, but his apocalyptic message, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." That is horrifying and apocalyptic, and I found it in a distinct contrast, the message on Earth from the leader of the free world to the message from space by Pilot Glover.
I want to focus in on what Glover said. Hop, do you think the serenity of space offers someone a focus that we just can't get here on Earth? We can't pull ourselves out of all this noise. Even if we try, it finds us. It's divisive. And that kind of clarity that he has, is there any hope that we don't have to go 250,000 miles away from our home in order to get that kind of clarity?
Yeah, that's a great point, TJ. And, maybe so. I think we've heard a lot of really inspiring words from astronauts when they're in space, when they look back and see this tiny blue dot in the vast universe. And I think it causes these individuals to give some, to think deeply about humanity and about Earth. And look, if you're a person of faith, I know, TJ, you are, then you believe that this place was created for us. If you're agnostic, maybe you think it's a cosmic accident. But either way, we are all on this planet together and searching and having our own personal journey for meaning. And, I looked at NASA's website, and NASA said that their explorations are, quote, anchored in providing value for humanity by answering some of the most fundamental questions. Why are we here? How did it all begin? Are we alone? What comes next? And as an addendum, how can we make our lives better? So these space missions cause us to think about these larger questions as opposed to what each of us is going to do today or next hour or next week. And I think that's important. I think that's important for humanity. And I think that's one of the side benefits of these kinds of missions.
Hoppy joining us as he does most Thursdays. Hasn't this been kind of the story of the human race, though, Hop? Look at what we are capable of achieving. Go back to the 60s with the Apollo missions. Look what we were able to achieve over the course of less than a century, to go from man's first flight to flying to the moon. And in the same decade, we have the civil rights issues. We have Vietnam going on. Isn't this kind of just the story of human race? It's the best and maybe the worst, if you want to call it that, of human civilization all coexisting at the same time.
Yeah, that's about, I think, the people that, why do we do this? Why do we spend all this money? But it is not only scientifically beneficial, but it's inspiring. And I went back and looked at Kennedy's speech about early in his term about the Apollo program. We do these things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. Putting a man on the moon before the end of the decade. And at that time, it was very relevant, too, in defense purposes, because we were in the space race with the Soviet Union. But all that is very inspirational, and it pushes human capacity. And when the space program succeeds, we all benefit. We all kind of win with that, right? We all look at that and say, that's an accomplishment. That's something we did. Now, you and I didn't do it specifically, but we did as a civilization, as a country. And that's important. That's important.
When you think about the Trump tone, and I'm referring to that message on social media and the way he tends to talk in general and frame things, and authoritarian, I guess you would say to some degree, can he achieve the goal without using that tone? Is that what makes him special? And I'll frame the question in terms of me, Hop. I don't like it. I don't like the rhetoric and the way he talks, but do I need to learn to live with it because the result is good for me?
No. I don't think you do. I think that, and some of that I hear in your voice, TJ, is, well, this is Trump, and we've kind of gotten used to it over the years, and this is who he is, and we've sort of gotten used to this kind of language. And there's some truth to that, but when you start saying things, even if you're not serious about a whole civilization will die tonight, then you're going beyond the pale. I mean, that's extreme even for Trump to say those kinds of things. And also, I've thought this all along, that if a president can use the kind of language he uses, then why can't anybody? Why can't anybody in any situation use that kind of language? So it normalizes the kind of language and the kind of behavior that we spent a lot of generations trying to overcome, frankly.
Hoppy Kercheval joining us. You can read his commentary this morning over at WVMetroNews.com. Hop, if I may change the subject for a brief moment. With the primary coming up this week, Governor Morrissey has endorsed candidates for state Senate. Shelley Moore Capito is now endorsing the opposite candidates for state Senate. Republicans, as we thought, are going to be in what looks like it's going to be a bruising battle going to the primary. What do you make of all of it?
What I make of it is that there is a distinct division within the Republican Party in West Virginia, and that's what happens when you get really, really big, like the Republican Party has gotten, and that tent has different perspectives. I mean, you have a far-right corner, you have sort of a right-center corner, and you don't have independents anymore. So you have these two fairly distinct groups within the Republican Party, and the nexus is getting more and more narrow. And now you have it. Now that's being highlighted by the primary election, where you have the two sides picking and choosing candidates. And this is going to be a bruising primary, and candidates are putting, like, I found it interesting that Morrissey's going to pick candidates. So you stand to, if you're Morrissey, hope to gain by that, but you also, the stakes are high. You can lose. You can lose big by endorsing particular candidates if those candidates don't win. Then you undermine your own power and your own credibility. So there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake in this Republican primary upcoming.
Hoppy, I don't know if you heard the Thomas interview. He was here at the top of the show. One of the things that he mentioned was the outside money. Not only where it's coming from, but why it's coming. And his contention is a lot of this big outside money comes here for single issues because those issues can then be ran in a legislature. It's easier to do here, and it sets the issue up for Washington and moving it forward. We have 1.7 million people. It costs less. Here's my question, blunt as it is. Are we being suckered by some of these outside groups? I mean, does what Thomas is saying, does that hold water?
I don't know. I mean, what is the evidence? Did he have? I didn't hear the interview. I'm sorry, but what's the? Is it like an outside group comes in and they're going to spend it's on the cheap here, and therefore they pass X, Y, or Z? I mean, was there evidence as to what has been passed?
Yeah, he mentioned. Dave, help me out. What was the 34B? I forget what that legislation was, but he mentioned the issue, and then he talked about the food dye bill. He tied it back to that issue as well, Hop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to do a little more research on that. I mean, as you say, we are kind of a cheap date on some of those things. So I don't know. I'm sorry. Can I change the subject on you guys?
Yeah, go.
I thought it was significant that a federal appeals court has held that West Virginia's mandatory school vaccination law, quote unquote, as Brad McElhinny reported, is a legitimate exercise of the state's power to protect the health and well-being of school children in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. And these are Republican appointees. And the majority opinion says, and this was well said, I thought, guys, rights, as important as they are, do not swing free and clear of the larger social compact. We live in a society that accords its citizens enormous benefits. In return, states can, in a measured way, require certain exactions and accommodations to the broader social interest. I thought that was really well said and backs up the state standing by the requirement that the public school children are vaccinated. So I thought that was, I know we still have an issue pending with the state Supreme Court. I thought that was a powerful message coming from the federal appeals court.
Hoppy Kercheval, you can read his commentary over at the website this morning at wvmetronews.com. Hoppy, always appreciate the conversation with you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You as well. Coming up, we'll get some of your texts. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line, and 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Gas tax relief, we'll talk about that bottom of the hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this, or what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
right.
you just
So I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
.304 Talk 304, the text line 800-765-8255. Running a small business is hard enough. Dealing with tech problems should not be part of the job. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly. Whether you need full tech support or just extra help for a small IT team, from security and backups to day-to-day support, CityNet's local experts have you covered. Call today at 1-844-CityNet. John Williams joins us bottom of the hour. More of your text, 304 Talk 304 and 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Look, I hadn't planned on really talking much about this, but I'm a little grumpy, so here it is. I am over the vaccine issue. We have talked it to death. We have presented both sides of the issue. I don't care if you vaccinate your kids or not. That's your choice. As a parent, you make that choice. But if they're going to go to public schools, they're going to be vaccinated. Period. That's the law. Don't like the law? Elect people who will change the law. I'm done having the conversation. I'm done. We've talked it to death. We've talked it to death. If you're going to have, it's your choice as a parent. Don't want to vaccinate them? Don't vaccinate them. There's Hope Scholarship, homeschool them. You want to send them to public schools? You got to vaccinate them. And if you don't like the law, elect people who are going to change the law. Simple as that. Simple as that for me. And oh, by the way, public health officials, you broke the trust in 2020 and 2021 with your COVID policies. You're going to have to earn that trust back. That's when this thing swung so far, we're having these conversations now. That's my 3 cents on it. You don't have to respond if you don't want to, TJ. Just a little grumpy. I'm over the issue. Let's settle this thing in court so we can move on to the next thing.
I'm more concerned with why you're a little grumpy. If I'm being honest, I want to get to the root of the issue so we can solve it. With that said, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I do think, look, the Fourth Circuit weighing in, it does further the story in terms of, I think it will have an effect on what the Supreme Court will do. I'm not saying they would do this, but this thing's politically charged. It's a very loud minority that doesn't like this. And if you're looking for a political way to solve it, an off-ramp, well, the Fourth Circuit gave it to you.
It does give you some insight into how the justices will process the information, doesn't it? It does give you some insight there. Because, these are the three-judge panel, all appointed by Republicans. That's how we describe everything. So I think you're right, TJ. I don't know the influence, but it definitely gives us some insight into how justices will process this information as they hear this case moving forward.
The judge that wrote the opinion out of the Fourth Circuit on that 3-panel, forgive me, I forget his name. I don't have the opinion in front of me. But he alluded to something that we've talked about that I think people forget. We live in a republic. That is much different from living in a pure democracy. And that's really at the heart of this issue, if you think about it. We live in a republic. You give up some of your freedoms to have other freedoms and live in a civilized society. It's the way it is.
And like I said, you don't like the law? Hey, start a PAC, get a bunch of lawmakers elected who will change the law.
Yeah.
Get some dark money flowing in. Change the law. But until then, you do you. And there are alternatives. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, my wife wants to get like a small, very, very small island somewhere in the Caribbean where it's just us. We do our thing. We live our life. Let everybody else do what they do. It's starting to become more and more attractive, just not because of the great weather.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but they're probably going to put a data center on it. So I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you it's a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Texter says, regarding vaccines, Is it the vaccine that people are concerned about, or the fact that these diseases are very highly contagious? If they are highly contagious, then if your kids are going to school, they should be protected against other kids giving them a disease, says the texter. Spicy Dave, I like it, and I couldn't agree more with the vaccine stance. Go get a buckwheat cake and yell at the clouds. That sounds like a solid plan, by the way. Try to read. Okay, let me see if I can get through this one. Hop, I wash my bed sheets once a week, and the entire civilization of dust mites gets wiped out. Should I stop that or just call it pest control, says the texter. All right, that's been a little bit long. We'll get on. We will get back to the text line coming up. Yesterday, House Democrats held a news conference. They are proposing a gas tax relief holiday, if you will. Monongalia County Delegate and House Democrat John Williams is going to join us in studio. We'll ask him about this plan moving forward. More of your texts coming up as well at 304-TALK, 304-800-765-TALK's the phone number, 800-765-8255, and you can text the show at 304-TALK, 304. Still got a half hour to go. Come on back. John Williams is going to join us on the other side of this news break. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on the Metro News Radio Network. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Cassie Clayman with your Metro News television forecast brought to you by Slango Law. Get results, no excuses. It is going to be sunny today once again, but our temperatures today are going to be warmer. We'll continue to see these dry conditions into Friday, but then some shower chances are introduced to our forecast Friday night into Saturday, and then clearing out again Sunday, where we are going to be feeling the heat. I just want to talk briefly on this rain that we're getting as we head into Friday night and into Saturday. Most of these showers will be staying north, and even with this precipitation, it does look to stay, generally speaking, light. And that's not only the story as we head into the first part of the weekend, but that's actually stays in the story as we head into next week as well. Overall, anticipating just light precipitation across the area. Now, here's your Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. The dry conditions, that's not the case for many, especially those across Florida, which will continue to watch for those shower and thunderstorm chances. Still having the potential to be heavy at times as we head into our Thursday and Friday. Some showers also expected across Chicago. But temperatures here, panhandle to panhandle forecast, sunshine. We'll see abundance of that with temperatures warmer. We are up to 74 today in Wellsburg. Otherwise, temperatures in Kingwood at 70 degrees for the day today. An abundance of sunshine across the area. Ripley up to 76 degrees today. Franklin 67, and Huntington hitting 78 degrees on this Thursday. Then as we head into the extended outlook, Friday up to 79 degrees. Those showers on Saturday, and then temperatures jump up into the 80s as we head into the day Sunday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a yeah.
Grab your headphones. 304 Talk 304. That's the text line. 800-765-TALK. 800-765-8255. Gotta flip my sheet over. With gas prices at $4 a gallon, or roundabout, House Democrats have requested Governor Morrissey call a special session to temporarily suspend the state gas tax. Now, in a twist, that idea has also been floated by Republicans in the House Freedom Caucus. Georgia and Utah have taken similar measures to suspend or reduce their gas tax. Several other states, including Virginia and Pennsylvania, are also considering gas tax relief. John Williams is a Democrat in the House of Delegates from Monongalia County. He joins us in studio this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming by. All right, everybody would like some relief at the pumps, but what is the plan Democrats are floating out there to give some relief at the pumps?
Yeah, so the plan is looking at the average price before the excursion war, whatever they're calling it today, in Iran, before that happened on February 1st. And so we're taking that average cost, which was floating between $2.85 and $3. And as long as gas is over that average, then there will be a gas tax holiday. And this is to be monitored from month to month so that it wouldn't be just a complete elimination of the gas tax, but it would be to provide some relief for people who need it at the pump right now.
So, John, we wouldn't repeal the entire state gas tax. We would do that in some kind of pro rata form based on where the average price is. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So people have been suffering for the past year. People have been crying out about the cost of living in this country and in this state. And those cost of living issues that they had were largely surrounding utility costs. They were surrounding healthcare costs, childcare costs. And then out of nowhere, we have this war that we go into half-cocked without realizing that you got to consider the Strait of Hormuz in this process. And all of a sudden, the same people who've been worried about utility rates, healthcare rates, food costs, childcare costs, now they have gas on top of that that's exploded in price. And so that's what we're trying to do, is to try to do something for cost of living for West Virginians.
So in the Democrats' plan, would there be automatic triggers in this, or there would be somebody who would decide if the tax is suspended or if it increases? How would this work?
Yeah, so the trigger is in there automatically based on that $2.85 to $3 average that we were seeing in January before the war started. So anytime the price of gas is above that $3, then the 35 cents per gallon is completely eliminated. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put money back in the pocket of the people who need it most. We talked on this show when you guys were down in Charleston about the state income tax cut, a tax cut that put a lot of money disproportionately in the wealthier of West Virginians' pockets. With this issue, you got one guy who makes $50,000 a year, drives 30 miles to work. Another guy that makes $500,000 a year, drives 30 miles to work. This money being put back in the pocket of the $50,000 worker is going to make a heck of a lot of difference, and it's something that we need to do.
John, ballpark it for me. How much money are we talking here that would be saved? Do we have any estimates?
You mean saved by the consumer at the pump, TJ?
Yeah, like add it. Like what is the state going to forego? I'm trying to get my head around the number.
What's the state going to forego? So if it was in effect through the rest of the year, it would be $40 million. And I think that cost is an extremely important point that I'm glad you brought up, TJ, because to demonstrate to you and to your listeners how passionate I am about doing this, roads and infrastructure has been something that I've talked about since I got into politics, the importance of it, the importance of investing in it. If we do this, we are going to be missing out on money to roads and infrastructure. But I think when you look at where people are hurting the most, we need to be doing everything that we can to put money back in people's pocket. And so I think for now, until we have stable, reliable gas prices, it's worth doing.
Talking to John Williams, Monongalia County delegate, the House Democrats proposing and asking for the governor to call a special session to temporarily suspend the state gas tax. John, I have been told by members of your party, when it comes to tax cuts, the amount going back to the taxpayer, it's not that much. And we're only talking about a few dollars here. It's not that significant. I have a 22-gallon tank, few cents at the pump, 35 cents at the pump. We're talking maybe $30 or $35 a month that would come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot, John. That's not that significant, I'm told.
It is significant, Dave, when you compare it to the conversations we've had in the past of the income tax cuts, which are putting $80 to $100 a year back in someone's pocket versus your example, $30 a month. That dwarfs that $80. That's 3 times the savings. And again, I would stress the example of that $30 a month means a different amount to you than it does somebody making $1 million. Don't want to make any assumptions.
You've not seen my contract, John. Come on.
This is the type of tax where we can make an actual meaningful difference, guiding it towards middle-class budgets, middle-class households.
John, I understand the intent. Who wouldn't want to pay less at the pump right now? I think that's practical across the board. I think that part of it makes sense. Here's where I have to be sold a little bit more to get on board. 2 points. Number one, we're coming up on summer months. People travel a lot. There is a heck of a lot of interstate traffic that goes through this state that isn't ending here, right? People go from point A to point B. They come through here. They fill up their tank. That helps us in a time, part of that $40 million, when we don't have a lot of money for roads. I mean, this year alone, I've put 2 tires on. And as much as I want to save at the pump, it's not going to make up for the price of the tire from the pothole. That's my concern.
And I think, TJ, I do think that it's a valid concern. And I don't want to go as far as to say that we have adopted a if you can't beat them, join them type of mentality. That's
sure.
Not it at all. But after we sit there and watch hundreds of millions of dollars go to corporations to try to sweeten the deal to bring some jobs to West Virginia, which is important, but then we see money going back in the pockets largely of the most wealthy of West Virginians, after we see all that stuff being done time and time and time again, and then we get told, well, we can't afford this foster care program, Vito. We can't afford to do this gas tax cut that's going to help lower and middle class people. Sorry, we can't do it because of all the other stuff we've done the past few sessions. So your point is well taken, but when is the middle class going to get a meaningful tax cut?
Delegate John Williams joining us in studio this morning. Any reaction from the governor to the plan? Any reactions from the news conference yesterday?
I saw that he said that they would look at any plan that comes around. I know the Freedom Caucus, they released something about this as well.
Late last week, yeah.
Yeah. I think that this is an opportunity for bipartisanship. You don't always see Democrats in the Freedom Caucus hooking up all that much on policy.
Not very often, John.
But when it comes to putting money back in people's pockets, that's worth teaming up on. And I think it's incumbent upon the Republican leadership to take this cost of living message seriously and to do something about it for people.
Remind me of the hurdles, John. If the governor doesn't call a special session, I think you all can put yourself back in, but I can't recall the parameters that need to be met to do that.
Yeah, we can do that, and it's never been done in my tenure, TJ. It's either 2/3 or a supermajority of each chamber, and the thing that always kind of stops that process is that if we were to call ourselves in, we would have a completely open agenda versus when the governor calls us in and there's a prescribed agenda that we are supposed to not deviate from.
Is this, and we're talking to John Williams, Monongalia County delegate, one of the Democrats in the House, is this a sincere proposal? Because let's face it, I don't see the governor calling a special session to entertain a Democrat plan. I just don't see it happening, John. Is this a sincere proposal, or is this just showmanship and performative politics?
Well, I would say, Dave, instead of asking us if this is a sincere proposal, because of course the governor's not going to take up a Democratic plan, I would ask the governor why he wouldn't take up a Democratic plan. Both questions work both ways. So is this sincere? Of course it is. But I think that the fact that we ask such questions show the polarization and the fact that it seems like in West Virginia, it's only a good idea if it's got a Republican's name next to it. And at that, a certain Republican's name next to it. So I would tell you it is sincere. We have talked about cost of living issues ever since our kitchen table tour. We're the only ones that went out and listened to people, and this was one of the biggest things. And like I said, they were talking about utility rates, food, healthcare. This wasn't a problem. Now it is a problem. Let's do this at least.
Give me a head count. I mean, beyond the Dems in the House or the Senate, are you guys whipping votes with Republican colleagues? Do you have any commitments? Do you have any idea how much support you have?
I mean, we've talked to people offline who say they're supportive, but obviously couldn't sign a petition, and we haven't even floated the petition idea. We'd like to give the governor some time to think about this. I think, it was, I guess it was 2 nights ago, we heard that the war is over, so maybe prices are coming down, but listening to this program and other news outlets, we don't know if that's the case anymore. So we keep getting whipsawed back and forth, so let's give the governor time to see if he thinks that oil prices will come down or not.
Monongalia County Delegate, Democrat John Williams. You can read more details on that proposal over at the website. Brad McElhinny, I think Brad's got a story. Somebody's got a story. I know it's at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Are you a boat guy by chance?
No, not at all. Why?
Buy the bit, John. Buy the bit.
What did I miss?
Wouldn't you love to be out on the lake here soon? Maybe
Don't
on
you
a
know
pontoon
somebody
or
in this
fishing
business?
boat?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know what you should do is go to LewIndleMarineSales.com. Check out their entire inventory. Great deals on pontoon and fishing boats, John. Just saying.
Let's make gas cheaper so that we can sell more boats.
There you go. Lewindle Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Thanks, John. Always appreciate you stopping by, buddy.
Yep, you got it.
Take a break. Back in a moment. Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play responsibly.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. and they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Let's get some text in before we call it a day. 304-TALK, 304, the text line, 800-765-TALK, the phone number. Cruise into spring with the West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win 4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online. Enter for your chance to win cash or cruise. Details at WVLottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. 304-TALK, 304. Dave Wilson is trying to roll ads into the show like Sean Hannity does with his rifles and cell phone at service. It's sad Dave Wilson is trying to be like Sean Hannity, says the texter. 304-TALK, 304. I'm not in favor of suspending the gas tax. The roads, the culverts, the bridges are bad enough, let alone the seasonal potholes. That's a major frustration for many. Folks, try carpooling for one day a week. You'll save more money than if the gas was back at less than $3 a gallon. Where were Democrats in 2022 under Biden when the average gas per gallon in West Virginia was $4.06? Did they want to reduce the gas tax then? It's always about the politics. 304-TALK, 304. Republicans are trying to lower gas taxes to help reduce the inflation of gas prices created by Republicans. Hashtag tired of winning yet, says the texter. Just want to point out that's a Democrat proposal. Guys, I'm financially in pretty good shape, but somebody just reminded me yesterday that the price of a pound of hamburger is as much as an hour of minimum wage. That really makes me think of lower middle class and the poor people. Wow, $35 could buy maybe 4 more pounds of burger a month, says the texter.
It's high. Very high.
I don't go to the grocery store. My wife handles that.
Well, I don't either, but Amanda said something the other day to me about the price, and I forget the exact number, but I did. Ooh, that's high. So I grill it, Dave. She buys it.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works at my house. My wife, if she gets the ingredients, I can make it happen most of the time. 304-TALK, 304. What's the cost to the taxpayer for a special session, and how much is the taxpayer going to benefit from? And how much taxes is it going to cost that's not going to fix our roads? Also, we're losing tax money from the traveling people who are benefiting, says the texter. Why wasn't there talk about gas price relief when the Biden administration had prices higher than they are now? I'm just going off memory. I vaguely remember a conversation. Again, I'm just going off memory when gas was, what did we get up to? $4.90 in West, at least in the Morgantown area. I think we were up around $4.90 in 2022. I remember some people floating the ideas around. There was talk of it. I don't know that there was any serious talk, but there was talk of it in 2022.
I would love to know that 40 million, that number, that estimate that John gave us. I would love to know how much of that we think will be generated by outside or comes at the expense of outside traffic. Because that could be a big number. Maybe it's a small number. I don't know. But I think one needs that information to make up their mind. At least I do.
And look, I have said before on this program, and let me just clarify. I am not trying to minimize, $35 is $35. If that's what you can save a month from that's great, because my point was that is often an argument or a talking point against tax cuts. Well, it's only a few $100s, off your income tax a year. That's not that big of a deal. Well, that only really amounts to a couple of bucks a week. It's not that big of a deal. That's what I'm told all the time. That's why I asked the question. Well, we're only talking about maybe $30 here if you fill up once a week and you have a really big tank. If you only have my wife's car has a 13-gallon tank. So we're only going to talk about, that gets filled up maybe every 10 days. So you're saving, $20 now.
Here's reality. I'm not questioning anyone's motives, but we often come back to this. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. You can want to help consumers out. You can realize a political advantage. You can do a lot of things all at the same time. It is what it is.
It is indeed. And it is time to take the final break of the hour. 304 Talk, 304 the text line. Back to wrap it up in a moment.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. At WVU Medicine's Heart and Vascular Institute, we offer everything from routine checkups to advanced treatments, helping you manage heart disease, high blood pressure, and more with personalized care. For more information, visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dancava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dancava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all construction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Yeah.
We are plumb out of time for Thursday. Coming up tomorrow, West Virginia GOP Chairman Josh Holstein scheduled to join us. Also, Steyerwalt and Steam Release coming up tomorrow, heading into the weekend. Any Masters updates before we go there, Meadows?
About the same, but I'm watching Freddie Couples warm up. What a swing, man. He's still got it.
Metro News Midday coming up on many of these same radio stations across the state. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.